Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Psychic Diaries. I'm Michael Lamport, the producer of the hit paranormal TV show Rescue Mediums. And with me, as always, is Jackie Dennison, the host of Rescue Mediums and good friend of mine. And on Psychic Diaries this time, we are so lucky to have Claire Stone, who is also from the UK. There she is. And she has a very interesting history. She's a best-selling author. And she, I guess I would say that you've really done a lot of research into angels and things like that, and ancient wisdom as it could be passed down to us. So I guess the first question for you, Claire, is when did you first feel or notice that you had any sort of psychic ability?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me on your incredible show. I'm so excited to be here. So I've always had psychic gifts. When I was a child, I could see angels, spirits. I used to experience astral projection. But I didn't think that there was anything different. I just assumed that everybody had the same experiences as me. And it was only as I got a bit older and, you know, I was raised in a Christian family, so we started going to church. And my grandparents realised that I was having these psychic experiences and they were absolutely petrified of them. So, of course, they sent me to even more Sunday school. They had me doing this abundant life training course. Like, they literally thought I had the devil in me. They were that petrified about, you know, psychic abilities. Yeah, really old school.
Yeah, because it does scare people. But what makes me laugh all the time about, because I'm a lapsed Catholic, and about Christian religion, is that they believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. So I think the Holy Ghost is pretty paranormal myself.
That's a good point. I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah, you should ask your grandparents that.
So my question was going to be, following on from Michael's, so do you come from a psychic background? But I guess you don't come from a psychic background at all.
No one in my family has got any psychic gifts apart from astral projection. Both of my parents, my mum's in spirit now, but both of them also experienced astral projection, but they were really petrified of it as well. They didn't like it. So that's the only thing.
Yeah. What kind of things did they experience that frightened them, Claire? Did they tell you?
I think it was the element of when you get so close to your physical body, you feel this kind of magnetic pulling, and it's your spirit being pulled back into the body, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think they were only becoming conscious of these levels of it. So they didn't realise what was happening. So they kind of felt like they were being dragged. My dad used to say that he could hear this buzzing noise. I never can hear any noises, to be honest. All I can feel is vibration. I feel like I've been plugged in to electric. But that, I think it's the lack of control. And again, they're both raised in Christian households. So anything supernatural is considered bad.
Yeah.
How did they react when you started to do your psychic stuff? Did they know about it? Did you tell them? Did you hide it? You know, like what did you do?
Well, my parents are pretty laid back. My mum and I lived with my grandparents. So my grandparents were mainly the like my parent figure, if that makes sense. So my mum, she was quite laid back and kind of let me do whatever I wanted, really. But it was my grandparents who were like, no, you've got to stop doing this. And what are you saying that for? You know, if I said something that was going to happen, then why would you say that? I used to drive me crazy, and I'd come out of my body at night and see what they were watching on TV and what they were making stuff. And then I'd tell them the next day and they would be so vexed. That's my nan's word, vexed. And then I kind of started, my grandparents moved out and I lived with my mum, and she battled with an alcohol addiction. And life got really tough when they moved out in a different way. This was like survival mode. And I became very angry with the God that I'd been raised to know, because I didn't understand spiritual law and that I was learning lessons. I just thought, I am cursed. Why have I got this miserable life? Why is it so hard? I did write a chapter in my book, but it never got published, and it was called God is in the Bad Books. And so when I got to age 14, I kind of turned my back on the church, and I went all out and I got a deck of tarot cards, and that was probably the biggest insult that I could have given them. It was like, right, God, sod off. I'm getting some tarot cards and I'm going to be a psychic. When I was a kid, I was always fascinated with psychics, and when they used to say, what are you going to be when you grow up, I used to say a psycho, but I thought that meant psychic. So yeah, I started reading cards when I was 14, just for friends.
Wow.
And then I had this chronic agoraphobia, anxiety disorder. Sorted myself out after a couple of years, and then I was so inspired because it was angels that helped me recover, not actual people, angels, divine guidance. I decided, right, that's it. So I trained up in holistic therapies. I learned everything: aromatherapy, Reiki, massage, and I've never looked back. I've always been on this journey.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
that really is wonderful, isn't it? You know, that you started so young, reading tarot cards at 14. It's sort of like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
Well, I needed answers, I suppose. You know, life was so difficult. I needed somebody to say it's going to be okay.
Yeah. What was your first angelic experience?
Well, I don't know, because I've always seen angels, but my first like really significant one was when I was about 14, and I'd literally had enough. I literally wanted to die. I'd had enough of life.
Wow.
And I remember I was in my bedroom and I was praying and crying, and you know, and I just said, like, someone help me, please help me. And it was who I call Archangel Uriel, the lioness of the goddess.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a masculine angel, it's like Michael, he who is like God. If it's a feminine angel, I say it's the angel of the goddess, because I like acknowledging the suppressed feminine, if you was wondering why I said that. And it was Uriel that she acted like a coach. And I know that sounds bonkers, but I asked for the help. And I always say to people, I'm not special. I got this guidance because I asked for it. I begged for it. So she gave me tasks. So for example, one of the tasks was, right, today you're going to get dressed and you're going to go to the bus stop and come back. For someone who's got agoraphobia, that is terrifying, just stepping outside the door. I hadn't even been diagnosed with it because I didn't know what it was that was wrong with me. I knew I went outside and I felt sick and petrified. I didn't know it was a mental thing, because it's so physical anxiety, isn't it?
Yeah.
So started doing what Uriel advised me to do. Eventually I'd get on the bus just for one stop and then I'd run back. And this continued until I got into the town centre. Then I'd get a taxi and come back. And it was like a way of desensitizing. I suppose a therapist might ask you to do tasks like that. Yeah. It was actually an angel that did it for me, and it was Uriel.
Wow.
Do you find yourself calling on Uriel now for any any advice or anything like that?
Yeah, I am like mithering them all the time. I'm always asking for guidance. You know, no matter how much faith you've got or how long you've been on the path, we're human beings, and I think that we all need angels and guides. That's why they're there.
Yeah. How did you see Uriel? Did you see her in your mind's eye, or did she appear as an apparition?
I see her as an apparition. I see him both ways, but that time was an apparition. And I do see angels in humanistic form. And again, I always say to people that angels are energetic beings of light, and my interpretation is angels will appear as a human if that feels comfortable for us. It's not because that's what they look like, but I needed an angel to look like a human, so it looked like a human.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's part of the comprehension, being able to understand things, make sense of things, isn't it? Because it's something that we're familiar with in that way. I like working with Archangel Michael, but I work with Uriel because I work a lot in dream states. So because I do past life work, you know, I do a lot of dream work. So Uriel, I work with quite a bit. How do you see the difference between a spirit guide and an angel guide? Do you see a difference between them or not?
I think they're totally different. I see spirit guides as somebody who's had a human incarnation.
Yeah.
I always think that your spirit guide is more evolved than you, because otherwise, what's the point in having this guide? So it's someone who got a bit further on in the journey, you know, a bit more spiritual knowledge, but someone who is aligned to what you're actually doing in life, your purpose, where your angel I mean, everything's energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that angels are higher vibration because they are closer to the source. Not that any being is better than anybody else, but I think that spirit guides also have egos. I'm sure you probably agree on that. They can have opinions, especially ancestral guides. You know, like when someone's nan comes through and they're really annoyed with someone, they're like, he's been cheating, tell her to dump him. And you're like, I can't say that. Where angels don't have egos because they are just unconditional love, and they're so, I try and imagine like life as a tree, and like the creator is the trunk, the angels are the branches, we're the leaves and the flowers, and we're just all branching out off this one original tree trunk, having our own experiences. And I know that might be a bit of a babyish way to see it, but
I like that.
I think that's really helpful, and it's very very original. Now you say, and I mean, I personally agree with you, because Jackie and I have dealt with a lot of them, with the spirit guides, that previously they were mainly in a human form. So what do you think the source of the angel energy is, if it's not a human spirit that's passed on?
I think, so I'm going to use the word, when I say creator, source, God, I mean the same thing. We all like to use different words. I feel like that there was one pure energy of creation, and in order to experience life, it needed to have its own like different, so some people say angelic rays, or we can perceive it as, from our limited point of view, as a personality. That's how I see the archangels, as these like personalities of God creator expressing itself and that's what I think that we are as well, on another level. I don't think that the people as such. I think that the massive powerhouses of energy, and I think it's God creator experience itself in a different form. I see it as like cell division. That's what I think we're like. So the source is this cell, and then it just keeps dividing to experience, because we're all connected. But we're having a unique experience as well. Do
you connect with the angels in your healing? Do you ask them to come in with healing? Is that with your Reiki healing, or is that something else?
When I do healing, I always connect with angels, because I rely on them to bring in a higher source of energy. I can channel high vibrational energy with them. So I just try to become an empty vessel. Sometimes I imagine them placing their hands of light over my palm chakras, rather than channeling it through me, because I kind of feel like the energy can get tainted with our ego / personality, and I try and keep it as pure as possible. So that's just the way I do it. I didn't have any formal initiations of any people. I did have Reiki initiations years ago, but pretty soon the angels started jumping in and taking care of things, showing me. What was great about angels is they will show me how the client has manifest a certain symptom, so what that is, and then once you know what that manifestation is, then you can start looking at releasing it, because otherwise it just manifests as something else, doesn't it? If someone's got something wrong with them, you can take it away, but it's going to come back if they don't know why it manifests in the first place.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, like now, even scientifically, we're all across the world, we're experiencing, you know, like the pandemic virus, and the virus mutates and changes itself. So I agree with you that, I mean, why that would happen with our energy and our souls. It has to.
Yeah, I love your description of the healing energy, because I've experienced what you were saying, you know, how they come and they work through your hands. I thought it was like putting a pair of gloves on, as though you're putting some gloves on, but the gloves belong to somebody else, and with somebody else's hands there, which is fantastic. But the fact that you're channeling that universal energy, you're channeling that, rather than it being and letting ego come in and saying, well, it's me that's doing the healing, and actually no, it's not, it's coming from another source. And you can feel the difference, and when you stand out of the way, you can actually feel that difference. And so how you described, you know, it being beneficial to the individual depending on what kind of healing they needed, what was the source of their energy dysfunction, you know, as to how can we move forward with this. So I like that. Do you bring in also things, because I know that you've done sort of work with the Egyptian mysteries and things like that. Do you bring in the deities with this?
Sometimes if I'm doing a healing, I will just open up the space and allow any beings of light that wish to come and contribute to come through, because we're all into different stuff. So if somebody is into Egyptians, or they've had an Egyptian past life, then those kinds of energies, goddesses and gods, may come through. A lot of people are into Egyptian stuff, really. So, you know, like Anubis might come in, and then you start developing the healing into a reading as well, and kind of past life stuff comes through that needs to be healed, because you will know that we can, some physical symptoms that we can have now, or karmic situations, can be past life that's unresolved. So you kind of, it's who can best help that person will come through. So I have my own team, my own spirit guides, my guardian angel. Usually Raphael comes through with healing as well. And then it totally depends. And sometimes, depending on which one of my guides comes through, gives me a hint into that person's what needs healing the most. Because like one of my guides, Helena, she was a herbalist. And then I've got another guide who he's a Tibetan guide. So they're very, very different. So depending on who's stepping in, I kind of know what chakras need sorting out, and is it a very humanistic thing that's going on, or it's whoever steps in.
That's just how I like to work, because it's like, I always describe it's like going to you know, high school, and you've got a geography teacher, a maths teacher, an English teacher, you know, and you have the same with guides. You have those experts who come in that they know where, you know, we need to be in order to channel that energy in that way, which I absolutely love. I love working with the Ascended Masters as well, and with Mother Mary I've worked with on a few occasions, and she just appeared out of nowhere, and it's like, oh my god, who is this person here? But her energy is so lovely, and I find I work with her in a healing way, because she's got a very healing persona. I actually did the angel test on your website, to see which angel I resignated with. And it was Mary, but it wasn't Mother Mary that came. And I was reading it, I thought, oh yeah, I wrote it all down actually, because it was very relevant to what was actually going on with me. And I thought, oh, there's something in this.
Well, the angel Mary, she is the feminine aspect of Archangel Raphael. Now, it's not all well-known knowledge, because as we know, the divine feminine wisdom has been suppressed for all these years, and now it's coming to the surface.
Yeah.
And so Archangel, the feminine word for Archangel is Archaea. So you can call them Archaea, Archangel, or even Lady, like we say Lord Michael, we can say Lady Beth.
Yeah.
And Mary, so where Raphael's very good at healing physical, she heals the emotional. She heals the mother wound, he heals the father wound. Now, I know angels are androgynous, but they do have feminine and masculine traits and qualities, because that is our experience on earth. The paradox, masculine and feminine, yin and yang. So that's just for lack of a better word, when it's like female archangel, because it's not really a better word for it, but we're not talking about girls and boys. But Mary, so Mary comes from, it actually translates to star of the sea, but it also is like the very primitive word for mother, Ma. And she was the guardian angel. Archangels can be guardian angels, especially when someone is about to ascend, like the Marys and Jesus. So she was the guardian angel of Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. But yeah, some people do think that Mother Mary, because she's called the Queen of Angels as well, but there is an Archangel Mary as well.
When you say, Claire, that you mentioned that the female spirit or the female essence in angels has become stronger than the past. Do you think that correlates to what is actually happening in the on the earth plane? That because women, thankfully, finally, are being more listened to and more understood as experts or leaders of industry and all that sort of thing. Do you think there's a correlation there?
Yeah, I think I am heavily into, we're on the cusp on the age of Aquarius, the prophesied time when humanity can attain spiritual enlightenment. I am into the precession of the equinox, the rising and the falling of the ages. I believe in all of that. And, you know, when I'm talking about the rise of the feminine, every single person has masculine and feminine. So this just doesn't affect women. This affects men. It affects everybody, no matter what gender you are. It affects you. And I'm talking about those energies, like the yogic energies. So how in the past boys were told things like, don't cry like a girl. That's how a man's feminine has been suppressed. And that's why there's so many suicides, more so with men, because they're not allowed to express their emotion. They think that they're a failure because the way they've been raised in this, we've all been raised in a masculine way, pushing, trying to get ahead, and pushing ourselves to the max, workaholics. The feminine way that would balance this is relaxation, nurturing, community. And we need both to have a successful community, to have successful lives. We need the masculine, which is logic, order, discipline, but we also need that feminine. And every single person can use the meditation, the spiritual practice to balance these inner energies to attain spiritual enlightenment. That's my perception of it.
Yeah, I'd say that's a really good perception of it. Now, do you teach that sort of perception in when you're doing your tutorials? Because you have got, is it the Angel Mystery School that you've got? Yeah. Tell us about that.
So everything I teach is so that you are empowered. this is how I did it. It worked for me. Practice that. See if it works for you.
Yeah.
That I give you everything if you come on my courses. The Angel Mystery School is a 13-month, because 13 is the number of the divine feminine.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
So you journey for me for 13 months, and then each month we will work with a particular angel, a particular chakra, and then it could be the psychic clues, or it could be psychic protection. There's a theme to go with each angel. And then we have a live masterclass where we might have a ritual, candle magic. I'm into all that, you know. And then I do other courses, quicker courses. So I do like getting to know your guardian angel challenge, because I feel like guardian angels they can get lost with archangels. Everyone's archangel mad, but your guardian angel is the best gift, you know, like your spirit guide.
Yeah.
It's such a shame when people don't know their guardian angels. So I do a lot of training around that to help people to discover what is their clue. Because again, there's a lot of focus on clairvoyance, and a lot of people are not clairvoyant, and they get really disheartened. So we look at, right, let's see where you are most sensitive, how you can receive information from your angel, because I believe every single person can, even if it's with a deck of cards. And I get people creating challenges with the guardian angel. So the guardian angel brings back evidence in the physical world. So if you can't see, hear, if you've got none of that, at least you've got that evidence, and an angel will bring that through for you.
Yeah,
that's really interesting, and I was just extremely intrigued there when you said the number 13, because today, when we're recording this, it is September the 13th.
Oh gosh, yes,
it is.
It is.
Synchronicity. Thank you, angels.
Yes, so we're all in good company now.
I love it when they do this. You know, they never fail to keep on amazing, do they, Claire? You know, all of this, there's synchronistic events that happen that you're meant to. So many people don't realize. So I think it's absolutely brilliant that you're getting people to focus on this. You know, with your mystery school, but with other things as well, that you can help people to become aware and take the fear factor out of this. Because like your parents and your grandparents, who were a little bit scared of all of this, and yet it's so natural, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Supernatural is natural.
Exactly, it totally is. It really is. And you help people through is it the Spirit and Destiny magazine as well? You have a regular feature with them, don't you?
Yeah, I'm the psychic development expert. So people write in with questions each month, and I try and answer them as best I can.
Yeah, and that's so good to have somebody there that you can go, this is my problem, this is what it is, can you help me to understand it? And it's like, can you help me to understand it, rather than can you solve it for me? And I think you do that with your readings as well, because I've watched some of your readings that you put on, you know, when you put your monthly things up. And, you know, I absolutely love the way you read, by the way, because you're so down to earth. People feel, you know, so comfortable with you because you're a good northern lass. That's the way I look at it. You're a good northern lass, and you make things so approachable, so people feel comfortable with what you're giving in that way. And you bring the angels in as you talk, but you know your stuff, you're looking at the cards and you know what the cards mean. I think it was a Kyle Gray deck, the last one I saw you use, but it was so good. Have you got any plans of bringing any cards out yourself?
Yes, I have.
Oh, good.
I have got a deal, but it's under wraps at the moment, so I can't really talk about what it's about. But it's a slow process in the publishing industry, trying to get things out. Like, I wrote the book in 2018 and it came out in 2020. It took 2 years to get from there's my book, it's finished, to there it is a physical product, because it is just a slow process.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, sadly, I haven't read your book yet, but I'm going to for sure. But
Yeah,
I
me too.
wonder if you'd ever think about making a small book that is just called God is Bad.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah,
Not
a lot of
God.
people would buy that.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to write the book, Claire?
I've always wanted to be an author, and
Hmm.
for some reason I've always wanted to be a Hay House author. It just always appealed to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Wayne Dyer and Jodie Spencer.
Yeah, me
I
too.
really, really like them. And then I just kind of, I don't know, I was in a bit of a fantasy world thinking, I'm going to write this book one day, you know, Hay House are going to send me an email saying, come on, Claire, write this book. And then one day I got this message from a guy saying, Claire, if you don't write this book now, you never will. And I felt that in my core, and I knew it was true. It was like an alarm clock went off inside me. And I thought, I've got to write it now. I'm nearly 40. I've got to write it now. I've been dreaming about this, you know, for 25 years, get it done. But I had no idea where to start. I mean, I was a young carer. I didn't even go to school. So I learned like good reading and spelling. I was into magazines, crosswords. That really helped when I had bad anxiety, you know, just doing the crosswords.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of learned to be a decent writer. So I thought, where am I going to start? So come on, if you want me to do this, show me how, help me out. And so the first thing was go on the writers' workshop. So Hay House do this writers' workshop. So I went on that, and it just went from there. I put everything, it felt like a risk because I had a full-time therapy business doing healing and readings. And to write this book, I had to give up work for 6 months and not make a penny. And that when I didn't have any savings. So it felt like a gamble. Yeah. But I had every faith. It felt like destiny. And I always say to people in a reading, does it feel like destiny? And they say, yeah. And I say, well, how can it go wrong?
Exactly.
And
yeah.
I had to listen to my own advice. I knew this book had to come out, and I just got on with it and did it. So, and here it is today.
So glad you did, because I got a copy on order. So I can't wait to read it. And it is all about the feminine, isn't it? That has been suppressed. So I'm really looking forward to that. Do you feel that they were helping you to write it?
Absolutely. When I read it back, when I was proofreading it, and when I was recording the audio, when I was reading it out, I thought, did I write this? You know, some of it was definitely, especially the rituals and the activations, like that just all comes. My own story is just my own story, but everything else about them, it came from them.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. And you can feel that vibration when you're working that, when you channel it in that way, you can feel that. So, you know, I truly believe that you are manifesting your own destiny. For a young girl of 14 to take her life and turn it around as you have done, honestly, hats off, real hats off to you, because you are amazing. You really are. And a lot of people would have gone down the wrong pathway, you know, would have really not had that parental guidance that you had. But you were the carer, and you turned everything around. You've just said that, you know, you didn't go to school because you were a young carer and you had responsibilities, and you've taken that and you've taken those experiences, and rather than go, do you know what, this is so unfair, you know, which, you know, a young 14-year-old would have done, somebody of 24, 34 or 54 would have done that, gone, do you know what, why me, but you didn't. You took it as an experience. Why not? What can I learn from this? How can I help with this? So yeah, absolutely, no wonder you're working with, you are an earth angel. You are absolutely an earth angel. you know, we recognise Earth angels as we go around. We go, yay, that's in human form. Yes, you understand that. I have to just comment about the flowers behind you, because my brother is in spirit, and one of his signs to me is the sunflower, and there they are sitting on your windowsill. So thank you for that message, Claire. Without even saying a word, they're there.
I don't usually buy sunflowers.
Well, there you go. That's definitely them little upstairs going, do you know what? Give this Jackie, it'll make Jackie smile, this will.
Definitely.
That's
I
my
usually
brother.
buy roses. It's normally roses behind me. But this one has got roses and sunflowers. And I shoved them over the side so they were in the video as well.
Oh, well, thank you for that. Thank you so much. Where do you see yourself going in the future? How do you see yourself moving forward from where you are now?
I want to write more books. I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Yay! So you know what it's like. We're on a mission.
Yes.
So many books I want to write, and I just want to get it out there and try and help as many people as I can, because like you've just acknowledged, I've had a tough life. I've created my dream life. You know, life's difficult for all people, but if you've got that toolkit to see you through, the light at the end of the tunnel, if you've got your guides and your angels to give you that support, then you can get through anything, and you can manifest anything as well.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
And you've got to trust yourself too, don't you, going through that?
Yeah.
And I think anybody who is watching this will be totally inspired by you, and they should sign up for one of your courses and buy your book. And we're going to put all your details right at the end, you know, so that people can contact you. And I wish you absolutely every success in the world, because you truly deserve it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome, Claire. Very, very welcome. Thanks for today.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you again soon. Hopefully catch up when you've got your next books coming out.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, the next one's going to be God is Bad, isn't it? I love that title.
I love it. I don't know what Hay House would say about that.
Okay, bye, Claire.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.